Welcome to Rider Nation Station, presented by American Manufacturing Solutions, your total logistics partner, investing in Rider Nation Station and St. Mary's, Ohio, and to our other fine sponsors.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco. I'm your host, Zach Farrell. Mark, thank you for coming back here for another week.
Zach, it's always a pleasure to be here.
As long as the Rough Riders keep winning, I think we'll keep having this show. So always great to see you back here.
You as well.
Mark, last week we talked about your role on Friday night as coming into the Grand Lake Health Systems field and acting as sort of a supervisor or a
as the officials' observer
of the officials to try to check out mechanics and other and just give them pointers, I guess.
Just give them feedback on how the first half and the second half went. Mechanically, we always try to work a perfect game. Doesn't ever happen, but we try to. And so my role is just to help them possibly point out a couple things from the first half that they could work to improve on in the second half, and overall it will just improve their performance down the road.
Now, you don't get a chance typically during the season to be able to check out any Rough Rider games because you're working a lot of Friday nights. So was this the first or second time you've been into the stadium for a game?
No, we've for a game, actually the first time.
Is this the first time? Okay.
Yeah, we were setting up high and really good vantage points from the seats we had, and it was nice to see the riders on the field and whatnot.
Well, congratulations on catching your first Rough Rider game home from the stands.
From the stands, you betcha.
So we appreciate that, I'm sure. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at some clips from Friday night. Some very interesting calls, especially early on in the game. When it got out of hand, maybe the officials swallowed their whistles a little bit. But
probably.
We still found some things to look at. So we're going to be back with those clips right after this.
Good enough.
American Manufacturing Solutions is proud to invest in St. Mary's and proud to sponsor Rough Rider football. Think AMS, think logistics, done right. AMS is your complete supply chain solutions provider. Have electrical service needs? AMS can take care of that too. Call us at 419-300-1007 or visit us at AmericanMFGSolutions.com.
Whether your goals include college education funding, retirement planning, generating income, or reducing taxes, at Glass Derringer Investment Management, we've got you covered. Stop in and speak with Jeff Derringer or Kevin Glass at 100 West Spring Street today. Glass Derringer Investment Management. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
For all your sporting good needs, visit Albert Sporting Goods at 121 West Spring Street, serving the St. Mary's community since 1980.
Auglaize Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road or auglaizeequipmentrental.com or just call 419-394-7883. Auglaize Equipment Rental.
Welcome back to Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco. I'm your host, Zach Farrell. Thank you to all our sponsors out there for being able to sponsor us and bring great shows like this to you, as well as our games every Friday night. Mark, our first clip here was early on the first drive, a call of blocking below the waist.
Correct.
On St. Mary's. They called this on the center, and I wanted to know your thoughts on it. And I also think at the end of the play we may have a missed face mask call.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and let it roll here.
Yeah, that's what the flag was about.
And the flag comes right in there towards the end.
The referee has the flag for
center.
a block below the waist on the center. The center reaches out to his right in a crab-like or a reach block. And as you can see, it's slowly. So contact right there. The ball technically probably was still in the free blocking zone. Now, the free blocking zone is an 8-yard by 6-yard box, if you will, imaginary box. It's not the tackle box, if you will, but that box exists where you can block below the waist under certain circumstances until the football leaves the zone. So that was tight. The handoff was made at 4 yards behind the ball, technically outside of the zone, but contact may have been initiated just before leaving the zone. And in any case, that's a tight situation. Anywhere else on the field, blocking below the waist is illegal. So is that the wrong call? Maybe not. I mean, we can dissect it really in slow motion and get it absolutely right. But the guys on the field right there had to make a decision right away.
Now, the 6 yards, that's 3 yards in front of the ball and 3 yards behind the ball,
correct? And then 4 yards laterally on either side of the football.
So technically that ball was outside of those 3 yards. Because
maybe not, depending on when contact was first made on that defensive lineman.
Okay.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Coach Fry wasn't happy with it.
Sure.
As he demonstrated to the officials, a 2 plays later when he actually showed them what the block was all about.
Sure.
And I get that.
Well, as a former center, I remember the rules being shootout, sprint shallow, and peel.
Correct.
And shootout, that was always the block that we've done. So I'm assuming that block has been done for 60 years.
I'm sure that block has, and it maybe took a little bit longer to develop. Maybe that defender was a little bit further away than the center, what's optimum. Another foot closer, and we got no problem whatsoever.
Sure. Well, at the end of the play, then we see a little bit of maybe a face mask miss there. I can't tell. We kind of slowed it down whether the defender for Greenville has his hand on the shoulder pad or in the ear hole or on the side of the face mask.
Well, it's on this. The face mask is considered any hand pulling, grasping on any helmet opening, ear hole, face mask, underneath, the side of the helmet, something like that, and maybe we can get a better possibly look at it here. It's tough to tell.
Yeah, it's tough to tell from this angle.
Now, the hand on the helmet itself is not a foul, but if we get a finger in an ear hole or inside the mask or something like that, yeah, that would be considered a face mask. And whether it's a 5-yarder or a 15 depends on how severe the action is.
Now, the line judges we can see in the bottom of the picture was right there. That should have been able to see it.
Was right there looking right at it, so my guess is that there was probably nothing there.
Maybe it was more of the jersey at that point then. So the second call here, we could spend maybe the entire show on this one play. So this was the long run by Aiden Hinkle, and at the end of the play, he gets pulled down from behind. Joe and I said during the broadcast we thought it was probably horse collar. I was kind of looking at whether I was more focused on whether he had actually gotten into the end zone or not.
Right. Because
I thought that he had fallen. If he did fall down before the end zone, it was on the defender, and he fell into the end zone then after that.
Sure.
And I thought that the ball actually crossed the plane before he was down no matter what on that.
Yeah, my vantage point was like yours, right at the 50, looking behind it. And so we're watching this happen.
Great screen pass set up by Reineke and Hinkle there, and some great running down the field and breaking.
Yeah, that's probably should have been a horse collar call right there.
Okay.
Now, I wasn't focused on the goal line to see what that is, but I'm sure we can run that back.
Yeah, and here's another angle from behind.
Do we have a block in the back there? Nope, that was fine. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tougher to see from behind. It sure looks like when it happened, I said to myself in the stands, that's probably a horse collar. So if we can run that one more time.
Yeah, we talked about that, all year. It's any part of that jersey or
nameplate area. There's no nameplates there, but up there.
Right.
But it looked like he clearly had the collar and two-handed even.
Yeah.
And he may have gotten in. He may have gotten in right there, for a touchdown. So if that happens, we have a foul for a horse collar, even though the ball still may be in theory dead as soon as it crosses the goal line, but that's considered a live ball foul, and he's not quite down yet, and it's tough to tell whether he's in or not. The back judge is standing right there. Now, he would have had the best look at the possible foul. The line judge coming from behind, he's nowhere in the picture. He's close, but he's got bodies in front of him. He's right there. So I asked them about this after the game, and they said that they talked about it, but decided that no, he wasn't pulled backwards, that he fell forward. Well, from this vantage point, it's pretty clear that he was pulled down and twisted and got around. So
yeah, I just thought from St. Mary's fans, we've seen that called against us a few times this year.
Right.
And some of those were a little ticky-tacky. Maybe a St. Mary's defender had a ball on, or had one hand on the back and one hand on the side, and it was unclear whether it continued or not.
And in this case here, to the back judge's credit, he's got a lot going on there. He's got goal line. He's got, the tackle being made. So the focus is probably on what we're told is the most important line on the field, which is the goal line. So his eyes may not been there, and I get that. If working with a crew of 7 or 8, we're going to have eyes on that situation. Sure. So it probably was a horse collar. What would happen there is St. Mary's would have had a choice at that point. They would have taken the penalty, obviously,
right,
and we'd have moved the ball half yard ahead.
Right. So
it wouldn't have been a big deal. Now, if he had scored and the call was made, they'd have had a choice of taking it on the extra point or on the kickoff.
Okay.
So
it could have still been valuable to call that, even if it was a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, we're going to look at this next play here. This was a good caused fumble from the St. Mary's defense on the Greenville quarterback. And it looks to me like maybe the same defender that caused the fumble maybe held on to the quarterback a little bit after he had dropped the ball to try to keep him away from grabbing the fumble. Didn't know is that normally a penalty? Can that be called?
It could be. It could very well be.
You see it a lot, though, when somebody gets a fumble situation. A little tough to see from this angle, but we got another angle of it here from the side. He strips him, and then he's kind of holding on to him as he's reaching out for the ball.
If he is indeed holding him back, that could be considered a foul for holding at that point. Yeah. Because he's restricting his ability to go get the football. Just because there's a ball on the ground doesn't take those restrictions off.
Right.
But you're probably not gonna get that call. That would have to be really egregious to get something like that called.
Right. You almost think it would have to be the quarterback trying to pull away and somebody's holding onto his ankle,
and then pulls him back
or
something like that. That's really, really obvious. Yep.
All right. Well, this as I said, there weren't a lot of calls once the game kind of got out of hand. So we're looking for different
for little stuff.
For little stuff and for maybe potential calls in the future. So right here was an excellent stiff arm, I thought, from the St. Mary's running back, Ethan Wedding. But I just wanted, maybe this was a good opportunity to talk about the difference between an offensive face mask and a stiff arm.
He did a really nice job right there. I saw that play live, and it looked to be from where I was sitting, which is going to be 80 yards away. He comes out there and shoves that hand right there in the face mask, so to speak, and shoves him down, which is perfectly legal for a running back to do something like that. And so long as he didn't grab a hold of the face mask, get his hand in there and twist or grab, and that clearly was just not that. It was just a shot to the helmet, and away we go. And the wing guy was standing right there looking at that play. He's looking at that. No call. Shouldn't have not been a call. Nice job by the crew and by the running back.
Now, we've talked about that before. Does he actually – can you grab the face mask and push then?
No.
Okay. Any grab of the face mask
Any grab will
called.
get you 5 yards.
Okay.
And probably from the spot of the foul, which would have brought that back a little ways.
Right.
Still might have been a first down, but it would have brought it back. But
so running backs need to be careful that they're definitely pushing away
and you
and
see
not
that
grabbing.
Sometimes they get the hand out there and they want to control it a little bit instead of just a quick jab and away you go. Right. Sure.
So excellent form there from Ethan Wedding, showing how that's done. So this next clip then was another stiff arm from St. Mary's on one of the next plays.
Okay.
So this is another opportunity for us to look at this. Came on a pass play.
And again, just runs right by him, right through him, and over him.
Tanner Howell on this reception. I thought it was another good example of how to push him away with the stiff arm and not use it as it's almost defensive there. He wasn't necessarily offensively pushing. He was trying to keep the guy away from him.
There was no grab there. The official standing right there and looking at it. So nice job there.
Well, we're going to take a quick break after talking about the face mask there, and we're going to come back with some more clips. We got a few more clips. We'll be back right after this.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily, open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also now found in Wagner's IGA in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie.
Miller Funeral Home has been serving the Rough Rider community in its time of need since the 70s. Our business is a family affair, dedicated to serving families with integrity, dignity, and compassion. Miller Funeral Home, Proud to be a supporter of the Rough Rider community.
Welcome back to Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco. I'm your host, Zach Farrell. Mark, we got a few more clips here from the game Friday night. This first clip here was a tipped pass.
Okay.
St. Mary's defender tipped the pass, and St. Mary's linebacker took a little bit of a shot on the receiver coming across the middle. Just thought we'd talk about when that there's no pass interference, I guess, after a tipped ball.
After a tipped ball, that's correct.
So we're going to see the receiver come across the middle. The ball gets tipped, and then 35 Tanner Howe kind of takes a shot.
Gives him a shot. And that was a bang-bang type situation because, he's looking, and once the ball snapped, he's got responsibilities. He sees the receiver, boom, and maybe he didn't even see it. Now, if that ball had not been touched, we would have probably had defensive pass interference.
Okay.
Because he's not playing the football whatsoever. He's taking out a potential receiver, and that would have been considered, offensive pass interference. But once the ball's tipped, all restrictions are off for both teams.
Yeah.
And whether it's a personal foul or not, you may have a decision there. I don't think so. It was just a football play at that point.
Right. And I think he's just trying, you're taught as a linebacker to bump any receiver that comes in through your area.
Right.
I don't know if he realized that the pass was coming that quick.
He probably didn't know that the ball was in the air.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So, that's perfectly fine there. The tip pass probably saved St. Mary's from a DPI call.
Fortunately for St. Mary's, that tipped pass, and I think that's number 89, Mabry there, has been a hallmark of this defensive line this year. They've and linebackers, they've really gotten a lot of tipped passes. So, lots of opportunities to, I guess, make sure the receivers know that that coming across the middle is gonna be painful for this. This next call here was a no pass interference called on St. Mary's. A deep pass kind of set up from the quarterback rolling out and having buying himself some time.
A foot tangle there.
Okay.
Probably a good call. A little tough to see for sure. They're running together. The only issue that I would have is that the St. Mary's defender may or may not be looking back for the football at that point. So if you're not looking back for the football, it makes it a little bit more of a judgment call whether we got DPI or not. So if the flag, quite honestly, I thought there would have been a flag thrown there. I thought the back judge may have tossed on that. But he is looking back at the ball at that point. Probably a good no call. Okay. And as Coach Fry told me one time, he thinks that there's too much defensive pass interference called during the game. So he was lucky on that one. I think Greenville wanted something, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we got I think another view from the backside here. Unfortunately, doesn't pan over quite in time. Kind of seen the last there. But.
Yeah, the St. Mary's defender did turn, and about the time their feet got tangled. So once the ball's in the air, both kids have equal opportunity for the ball. I mean, it's not slanted towards the offense here. It's up for grabs at that point. So probably a good call. No call, I should say.
Excellent. We're going to take a look at the next clip here, the missed block in the back.
This is on the field goal, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Let's check the next angle out here. Looks like I got a wrong play on the first one. But if we look at the second angle, I can show you what we were looking at. As the play rolls out here, it looked like from the side angle that the St. Mary's defender that we're seeing there on the right hash pushed the guy in the back. But when we looked at it from this angle, it was clear that the defender was just diving.
Just whiffed.
And just whiffed.
Yeah.
That 81 right there.
Yeah, so it shows that, angles can make a big difference in
absolutely.
Something like this. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. He just missed.
There's another one of those that we've seen earlier in the year. You look at it from the side, and probably everyone say, well, if it would have been against Greenville, everybody from St. Mary's would have been on the standing up. There's a block in the back.
Right.
When you look at it from the back, you realize there was
nothing there.
Nothing there.
Yep.
Yeah. This was a penalty called on Greenville.
Right.
12 men on the field.
Illegal substitution call. Yep.
Just was curious what the official, who's in charge of checking that?
All right, so
all of them?
No, the back judge, which is out of your picture, he's the one that's deep in the defensive secondary. One of his responsibilities is counting the defense.
Okay.
Now, on offensively, the referee and the umpire are counting the offensive people, but the mechanics only say one guy is supposed to count the defense. Now, in our crew, we will have the who's ever on defense, that wing guy also count. Now, it's tough because you're lining up, you don't have a look at them, but they keep track of who's off and on and everything else. So this was a good get. He gave the defense every opportunity to get that 12th player off of there, and he shut it down before the ball was snapped, which only causes a 5-yard penalty. If he couldn't have gotten them counted in time and the ball was snapped, now we've got illegal participation call, which is a 15-yard penalty. So we're told to get it early to try to limit the major damage, if you will.
So because I always thought that it was if you had too many players in a huddle. That was
Not in high school.
Okay.
Not in high school. And that's a misconception among many coaches is, a team will come in and they'll send the substitute in. So for briefly, they've got 12 in the huddle. And, he comes in and they break and then the guy goes running out. And I hear that all the time as a referee. They got 12 in the huddle. Well, they can have 12 in the huddle.
Okay.
As long as that substitute or the guy that's being replaced doesn't stay longer than 3 seconds, we're fine. So
it's a matter of.
It's not a college rule. It's this high school rule. It's not a college thing. So
they're more concerned about where they're lining up in the field and showing the offense and getting into the
play.
Well,
that's part of the deal there. Yeah, I mean, because defensively, normally you don't get many calls like that. I mean, you get it on punts or something like that. But here, they're probably one of the players was confused, and they're just like, uh-oh, I shouldn't have been out here, and it was too late.
Yeah.
I think they tried to get a timeout called. They just didn't get it done. He had to foul before the timeout, and away you go.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, it's always interesting to me, too, to see when a team runs a good play against 12 or 13 men on the field. But St. Mary's didn't get a chance to do it there. So the next play that we're going to look at here was one of the touchdowns from Greenville. And it was a deep kind of corner fade pass to their tall wide receiver on the top of your screen here. And he kind of falls pretty far out of bounds. And I guess I was just curious what your mechanics are for making sure that he's catched the ball
That wing
all the way to the
official did a
ground.
nice job. He's right there at the goal line. They started from the 3, let's call it, or something, 2 maybe. He gets to the goal line. The play's coming his way. He turns. He's watching feet, then ball, and make sure when the player goes to the ground that he controls it, because the catch isn't complete when you go to the ground until he can come up and do something with the ball. Hand it to the official or come up, raise it up, or at least have complete control. And that's what he's watching. If that had come loose at any point, it would have been a no catch.
I think it's always interesting for fans to realize that the catch extends out of bounds if you're looking to see that the control was made.
In a situation like that,
or maintained.
The ground can cause a fumble, if you will. I mean, it's not really a fumble, it's just control. So in that situation, yes, there is he did exactly what he's supposed to do. Brett did a nice job.
And you can have control and establish where your feet are in bounds, and then you can lose that control as you're falling out of bounds or hitting the ground outside of that.
Absolutely.
And lose the pass not on the playing field.
The catch isn't complete until you can complete it, so to speak. Yeah, no, that was a good job by the official on that call. Yep.
Well, that's all the calls that we
Perfect.
have, all the clips that we have for today. So a lot of interesting things able to pick out of even a sort of blowout game. So the Rough Riders have the Franklin Wildcats this week. It's a rematch of last year's very exciting playoff game where St. Mary's traveled to Franklin. So very excited for the game this week.
Good
and
deal.
Hopefully we have some winning Rough Rider clips to talk about next week.
Good deal.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, you.
We'll see everybody.
American Manufacturing Solutions is proud to invest in St. Mary's and proud to sponsor Rough Rider football. Think AMS, think logistics, done right. AMS is your complete supply chain solutions provider. Have electrical service needs? AMS can take care of that too. Call us at 419-300-1007 or visit us at AmericanMFGSolutions.com.
Whether your goals include college education funding, retirement planning, generating income, or reducing taxes, at Glass Derringer Investment Management, we've got you covered. Stop in and speak with Jeff Derringer or Kevin Glass at 100 West Spring Street today. Glass Derringer Investment Management. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA SIPC.
For all your sporting good needs, visit Albert Sporting Goods at 121 West Spring Street, serving the St. Mary's community since 1980.
Auglaize Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road or auglaizeequipmentrental.com or just call 419-394-7883. Auglaize Equipment Rental.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily. Open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also now found in Wagner's IGA in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie.
Miller Funeral Home has been serving the Rough Rider community in its time of need since the 70s. Our business is a family affair, dedicated to serving families with integrity, dignity, and compassion. Miller Funeral Home, proud to be a supporter of the Rough Rider community.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.